to order the Tuesday, December 5th Manistee Harbor Commission work session at 1 p.m. Any public comments for our study session? None. Then we have a presentation from the Manistee County Tourism Authority from Sammy, I'll just say L. Hicks.
Hello, I'm Sammy Lukaskevitz from the Manistee County Tourism Authority. I work with Jeff through Sleigh Bell, but also our barricades are stored at his warehouse, so thank you for that, by the way. And he asked if I would come in and talk to y'all about what we do to advertise not only the region, but just Manistee in general. I can talk as long or as short as you want me to. I'm going to give an abbreviated version of our annual meeting presentation. So it's also what I'm doing at City Council tonight, so you might get bored a little later. But, oh, do you want me to change slides?
You could turn on your computer monitors and you can see it in front of you.
Oh, really?
There it is.
This? Sure. Do I have to do anything to allow that?
It's
Oh, no, she got.
So you've probably heard me at some meetings talk about what we do. I promote tourism for the county. And, but we're also trying to let people know that not only do we market the area, we also work collaboratively with everyone, and education, and just to tell people about all the great things that there are in Manistee. And I'm going to give you a minute version of some of the great things to do. Visuals. So Manistee's pretty great, and the Tourism Authority is a county-wide entity. We've been around since about 1996. We're a 501c6 that's governed by state law, Michigan Public Act 59. So basically, hotels charge their guests a 5% per dollar rate to go back to the Tourism Authority that promotes Manistee County, and that's a state law. Everyone with 10 hotels or 10 rooms or more in their hotel are mandatory. They have to be members. But we have voluntary members too. We have one hotel that has 1 room. We have a couple that have 4 and 8 rooms. So you can self-assess, but essentially they pass that pillow tax, as some people like to call it, on to their guests. And we're governed by a 12-member board of directors, and I perform an audit annually and turn that into the Michigan Economic Development Corporation for overview. Manistee County has 1,200 hotel rooms in the summer. That's where we primarily have most guests, is during the summer. We've got about 1,000 hotel rooms in winter. Some hotels close down. We have 100 short-term rental members. Some are property managed that have 10 or more, and that's again by law. And others have single entities that they want to be promoted to. And our properties range in size from 1 accommodation to nearly 300. The casino is our largest hotel. And while they don't have to be a member, they're excluded, they choose to be. But going back to some of the videos that we shoot, the photos, the ads, the strategy and the placement and the outreach to all of our media, that's really all part of the marketing that we do to help tell our story. And we also work to try to connect stakeholders, people like you, other entities throughout the county, to work together and to educate everybody about what Manistee County has to offer. So what are the ways that we tell the story? Here's a couple of sample of the work that we've done. We do online, we do digital, we do out of home, we do print collateral. In fact, we print a lot. A lot of tourists still are looking for something hard copies to take along with them. Our vacation guide, which is probably our most popular guide, we print about 50,000 of those. We'll go through all of those inventory through all the MDOT welcome centers, a brochure service that goes all the way to Chicago. We buy spaces in those racks, and we mailed out about 4,000 of those already this year. But we also do one for fall. That's a new thing that we've done. We have one that's coming out soon for winter. And then we had a version called Travel Ideas that we took to an influencer conference in New York in November. So we hand those out as well. Then, of course, we have a website, social media, like everybody else does, and we send out a newsletter where we have about 33,000 subscribers. We also recognize that we're a regional destination, so we promote regional assets. So when someone comes and visits Manistee County or maybe Mason or Wexford, they might all go to Sleeping Bear Dunes. And Sleeping Bear Dunes is a great asset, but we want them to stay in Manistee County. Pretty much everything north of what we, in Manistee is what we promote. I mean, people can stay in Ludington if they want, but if they're staying in Manistee, they're likely gonna be heading north. Our social reach, last year's paid media buy, we reached nearly 3 million people on social. That's organic and through paid. And our website gets about 241,000 visitors every year. In all total, from all of our paid media efforts, we reached about 4.6 million people. And the result is about 142 million in economic impact of tourism to Manistee County. We also do earned media, so a lot of story placement. That's an area where I think we can have some growth. We recently took PR in-house. That's where I feel comfortable. But we had roughly 15 stories across 44 publications from last year to this November. But that reaches nearly 20 million people through subscribers, online clicks, things like that. So there's a lot of opportunity there for us to get our story out through the press. And then also year-round content. We recently brought in a photographer who stayed in Manistee for about a week, taking everything from pictures at the beach to going up to Arcadia Marsh and really trying to capture that. And we hope to continue doing that for 3 or 4 years so we can build up a nice little warehouse of photography and video. We took him fishing, he went biking, hiking, rafting, kayaking, so we can pretty much shoot anywhere and go anywhere. And he's scheduled to come back in February, and we're gonna pray we have lots of snow then.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Sorry, we like snow, that helps us in winter. So I thought I'd look a little bit at some of the data. I'm kind of a data nerd and I love sharing some of the data around Manistee County and tourism. But we had about 704,000 visitors to Manistee County. And again, these are countywide numbers in 2022. These are 2022 numbers. And that's up 10% from the previous year. That economic impact is about 142 million. That's everything from what they're buying, where they're going, the taxes that they pay, the jobs that are created as a result of that. And speaking of jobs, there are about 971 tourism jobs throughout the county. Visitor spend by category, recreation is the #1 visitor spend. There is a caveat here. The state classifies recreation as gaming. So the fact that we have a casino, the spending for recreation is going to be a little bit higher than you might see in other counties. Lodging, they spent nearly $30 million in lodging. And a lot of our guests are from in-state, but they spend the night here. So roughly 60% of the guests who come to Manistee County are spending the night. They are from within the state of Michigan, and that's also up about 9% from the previous year. We want to grow that number, and we want to grow the number of out-of-state overnighters because that's new money that comes into the area. And in case you're wondering, the #1 destination in all of Manistee County is downtown Manistee. So the Riverwalk, downtown Manistee is the #1 destination for the entire county. A couple of other little nuggets that we pulled from MEDC. About 57% of guests who visit us are returning visitors, so they've been here before and they're familiar with Manistee. 33% book within 30 days of travel, so they're making their decisions to come here about a month in advance. 60% are seeking outdoor activities. So that right there is really our bread and butter and where we try to hit most visitors. And when we're building those categories of people we're going after outdoor recreation enthusiasts. 54% of travelers here are seeking unique dining experiences, and they'll spend about 25% of their overall budget just on food alone. So just some nuggets that we look at when we start determining who we're going after as far as our guests to visit. So looking ahead to 2024, I've still got a lot of work to do. I've only been at the Bureau for about a year, and we've already gone through a brand change. We were the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Now we're the Manistee County Tourism Authority. We still have some signage that we have to update. We still want to produce really quality materials that tell the story about Manistee. We hadn't had a photographer in-house for about 4 years when I started, and he was a guy that we had just hired and worked at the Bureau. So he did a nice job, but it's nice to always update our photography. But to always look for ways that we can partner with groups, especially groups like yours, because you do bring tourists in. The harbor is, it's a great asset to have here in Manistee and help set us apart as well. So what can we do to be a part of helping build that? And I went really fast. I'm sure you have other things to talk about besides me, but I'm happy to answer questions or just tell you anything that I know. And I do thank you for the time. I'm sorry it's taken me a year to get here.
Oh, that's no problem. Well, our biggest thing is, and we talked about this at our last meeting, since we've upgraded the facility, we've got new docks, outdoor furniture, all this and that, and everything looks really great. We want to get more people and boaters mainly. Targeting boaters somehow, if we can, like the amount of outdoor enthusiasts that come, if we can figure out how many are boaters versus just skiers, target them, target the in-staters, because that's a big portion, but then also we want to spread almost nationwide if we can. We've spread rat cards around, me and Mary Lou, mostly around the area and then all the way down to Chicago.
Okay.
That's a big one, and then whatever else through the chamber, and then your organization mostly.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of our focus has been Chicago. We'll be at the Chicago Travel and Adventure Show in January,
Yeah.
talking about Manistee. If you have some materials, we're happy to hand that out while we're there.
Yeah, absolutely.
We feature the marina on our website as well. I mean, we can do some, quick and dirty social to try to get people there. We work with a company called Near, and Near not only geofences our county and all of the attractions and hotels in the area, but we use it to do our ad placement. So what we do is our target has previously been people who have driven through Manistee but have stayed in some of our competitor markets like Traverse City or Cadillac or Ludington. They clearly know about us because they're driving through, but they're not staying here. So through Near, we've been able to geo-target those people who have driven by, telling them why don't you give Manistee a chance? So I think there's probably some opportunity where we can look at boater traffic that's gone through that hasn't necessarily stayed at the marina, or even look at Ludington versus Frankfurt or other marinas north to see if there's something that we can do to target them, because when I look at some of our geofencing, it does go all the way out into Lake Michigan.
Sure.
So,
Neat.
So, just a couple thoughts. First of all, you've been working with us for since you started, so we really appreciate that. And I guess the way I look at it is, I'm not a marketing expert, I don't know that any of us are, but we're trying to promote one aspect of the community. And so we need to partner with other groups like yourself to help us cross-pollinate, cross-market. I hear from local business people, Katie hears from the boaters frequently, I know you guys talk to a lot of people. We always hear that once people get to Manistee, doesn't matter how you got here, but once you get here and experience it, you want to come back, right? And you want to come back and explore different things.
well, 57% at least, for sure.
Sure. We have people that come in on the boat during the summer and then come back for sleigh bell, or make a separate trip that may not include the boat. And, we want the customers that are coming to Manistee conventionally and staying and doing whatever, we want them to think, oh my gosh, this would be a great place to visit on our boat.
Ski,
and come
fish,
back.
sail, whatever.
So I think it all works back and forth. One thing that Katie, our marina manager, had brought up, and we talked about it a little bit at our last meeting, was promoting local events, updating information, promoting the freighters and the bridge openings, and just all the different things that are going on. Does Manistee Tourism have like a calendar of events?
We do.
You do?
Yeah, so if we know about it, it's on our calendar.
Okay.
We have a tab on visitmanistee.com called Events, and
Okay.
it's simply a Google Calendar that has everything. We're only as good as the information that we're giving.
Right.
Some of it, we ferret out, see it on Facebook, and we'll add it to the calendar. Other people know that that's a resource, and they tell us about it proactively. So
Sure.
yes,
So instead of us creating something on the website or something, we can simply link to your
Absolutely.
site.
yeah.
And that's probably the most inclusive in the county then.
Other than, and it's also quite popular, other than our homepage, the events page is probably within the top 5 of pages that we visit, just to see what's going on. So, in fact, I got a call today, it's kind of funny, asking when Santa was in town next. So we went to the calendar. It's Saturday. He doesn't make Tuesday visits very often, so.
So in the publications that you do, is the marina currently mentioned, or is it something that the commission could maybe advertise in or something?
I'm trying not to do advertising.
Okay.
I have one person that's full-time there, that's me. And to also be a salesman,
Okay.
track down, payments and things like that is just not my scene. We are funded by hotels, so I feel like if you don't have anything to do here, then the hotels won't be full. So I hate to get into charging people for advertising.
Right.
And I don't know off the top of my head if you're listed in our visitor's guide. We try not to be a directory. We're not a chamber of commerce or a phone book. So we try to have a narrative around things. I'd have to check to see if the marina is in it. But I can be more cognizant of making sure that you're included as well.
Well, I think we
I came
request to be a
about-
part of it, but we also,
Definitely.
we were here a year ago when MS Creative was here and stuff, and so we have been able to budget some additional funds to go towards advertising, and that's kind of what this meeting is us trying to figure out how best to spend those dollars, how best to attract visitors.
There might be an opportunity. I mean, we did a small buy around Sleigh Bell. I mean, for us, there's not a lot of winter organized events, something like that, that's very unique that people would drive to. So we did an campaign around that. I should see the data here in the next couple of days around it. But I'm always open to doing things, and certainly I came here as a boater, so I recognize that once you get here, it's more than economic development at that point. It's also, placemaking, and people determine that they want to live in a place that they fall in love with. So I certainly think there's an opportunity there for us to work together for sure.
Yeah, the only thing that I love the vision. I love what you've done in the year you've been here. Keep up the great work.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's been fun. I have the best job in the county, so. And I pray for winter. Oh, no. I'm sorry, second.
It's debatable. Yeah, especially the video at the beginning. I mean,
Yeah.
if you don't want to come visit and live in a place like that,
Impactful.
wow.
Great work.
Yeah, I'm really excited about what our target is. We have some exciting things on tap for winter, because if we read what the meteorologists are telling us, we might not have a ton of snow. I don't know if the last week isn't reflective of that or not, but we tend to try to target some of the big cities in Michigan, but we're moving into Chicago, Cleveland, Indianapolis to also bring out people from this is an easy drive. So to bring people from other states and have out-of-state visitors come here. We're seeing an extraordinary increase in Chicago, both in data and just anecdotal. We hear people and see a lot of Illinois license plates. And the beauty of Manistee is that we're a drivable, friendly destination. We are not plagued with what some other towns are seeing of over-tourism. People are still welcoming of tourists here in this community. And little things like free parking downtown and free parking at the beach, that matters to people.
Oh, absolutely.
And when you hear that someone has come out of Chicago and they're staying here, this is a nice getaway for everyone. And whether they're staying in a hotel or they're staying in campgrounds or they're staying on their boat, it's still a guest that comes here and goes to the restaurants, goes to the stores downtown.
So you'll be available by email and
Yes,
office too somewhere, or
I do. We are at 310 First Street,
Yeah.
right across from Shell.
pretty regular business?
We're right at the detour.
Oh, okay.
Jeff knows how to get a hold of me.
Oh, that's building across, okay.
Yes, it looks like an old train. I hear it was an old car wash back in the day.
Yeah.
It was a Zephyr gas station.
Oh, okay.
Prior to Wesco, they had the best donuts.
The best donuts in town.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely need to stay in touch and keep in touch, that's
For sure.
Yeah, because I think, again, when we do have boaters, whether they're fishing or they're pleasure or they're on the loop coming by, I think Katie had said, it's good to be able, for us to be informed, to say what's going on in town too.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
for sure.
To have information, what's happening for the dock hands to share with the boaters. And even the fact we have that available space, upstairs to rent, people might be looking for gathering right on the Riverwalk, so.
Right. Yeah, I think the updates to the marina are lovely. They're very nice. To see the new docks come in
Yeah.
and also be able to facilitate really big boats.
Right.
Is a nice perk for Manistee as well.
Yeah,
So-
good prices.
Two other things. We have been trying to upgrade Memorial Park for quite a few years. This is our third and probably final attempt at a DNR grant. But some of the data you just provided, when we go for our final plea to them next week, we scored pretty well. And we scored in every category that we possibly could. Where we didn't score is we're not Detroit, we're not Southeast Michigan. And they have bonus points for being in the high populous areas that we just can never get. We're not eligible for them. But what I heard you say is 705,000 visitors come to Manistee County every year. Almost 77% of those are from Michigan. So I'd like to bring that up to the DNR trust fund that we may not have the population center, but this is where they come play.
Oh, yeah, we got.
Yeah,
You know what I
there's,
mean?
Absolutely.
our
And
population.
60% of them want to come for the outdoor activities, of which this park is part of that.
Yeah, and I recognize the importance of access to the outdoors in some of the urban cities, but a lot of people get away from the urban core to be able to come to places like this. And the population of Manistee County swells, and I want to say the fact is about 4 times during summer alone. So just that fact puts us up there with some of the larger cities within the state.
Well, just look at the traffic north and east, or north and west on Fridays, and
Right.
south and east on Sundays. I
Yeah.
experienced that for a lot of years.
Yeah, I used to drive up on weekends from Jackson, and I used to dread the heading north on Fridays or heading south on Sundays. So then I would leave Monday mornings, saying maybe I'd skip it. And then I just got to the point of, why don't we just live there? So,
Another thing we want to do is a yearly event, either an open house or something, kind of on the order of hops and drops, kind of in the middle of summer. We're working on a date or a time. We had the open house last year mainly just to show off the building and the improvements and the thank you to the donors and volunteers and stuff. But then we got to talking that it would be a good thing to just do something like that for the boaters and the community, because you can show it off and still say thank you and have a good time and everything else.
Yeah.
So we want to put a date together for that soon.
yeah, TJ's block party that they did was show, I think, the community what something like that could look like as well.
That's kind of why we targeted it on that weekend for the TJ's thing, so it
Yeah.
worked out good.
Well, and like we've talked about, we've all traveled vacation in different modes. Some people camp, some people vote. But when you're going to a place that has something fun going on,
Yeah.
that's a draw. So that's why we were talking about the calendar of events and stuff, because I think one of the things we need to figure out is, you've got that calendar, and how do we push that information out to the boaters that those things are coming up, and so yeah, we've got a lot of work to do.
In my previous life, I worked in NASCAR, and we had,
Really?
thousands of acres, and we only used it really 4 days a year. So we were always tasked with, how do you look at events beyond the core business to try to attract people? And it was everything from wine festivals to 5Ks to 3-day country music festivals.
Great.
As long as you have the infrastructure, you can do anything.
Yep,
It's their meeting.
on the right track.
Are you gonna stay through this meeting, or do you
I
need
can,
to
if you
leave?
need me to. I have a meeting with Bill at 2, so.
Okay, well, I just,
So it's when.
if you guys don't mind, if I could bring something a little bit off topic, but I'd be involved with it.
Okay.
I just was invited.
I talked with
Say
a
we're-
gentleman today that is planning to purchase the Princess,
It says
and is planning to create a 501c3, and believes that they have a donor funding source, and Sammy might be on the board of directors, is what he said. But anyway, one of the long-term goal of that Princess would be to move it to the Lakeside Social restaurant on Manistee Lake. And their plans for that facility include marina slips for boaters to come in and be able to eat and stuff, but also a dedicated slip for that boat, which I think is great. But asked, and we don't have to discuss it or decide, but something to think about for our next meeting. But they're wondering if it's acquired by a nonprofit, if there would be any break on potential slip rental for just this next year. So I just kind of wanted to put that up.
That's interesting to hear, because where we store our boat, we came up with our boat to put it in winter storage, and bingo, there's the Princess and they bought the property, which is a huge parking lot and dock space on Petwater Lake over there. So I don't know. We were concerned that maybe he's gonna end up over there.
Well, the gentleman he called me about a separate thing, and it just
Interesting.
happened.
Interesting.
Ben brought it up today,
Interesting.
and said that he had reached out to the chamber, because
Sure.
Bill and I worked with the chamber to try to court it, when it was having issues in Ludington, and we got that to come up here, and
Interesting.
certainly would like to keep it, but,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
so, we
Okay.
can put that on our next
Yeah.
agenda for
No,
discussion.
he's not here.
So I think we're
Okay,
trying to get DACWA set up. I think Kelly's emailed her a representative, so we'll see if
Yeah.
we can get that going. We might have to skip to the next one, but just for Sammy, thanks for presenting. And I think one of the discussions was having all those, things to do in Manistee at the marina. But then maybe with it being the transient boaters, maybe they'd be interested in knowing about the hotels. They could stay on their next trip. So if you have something to put in the marina, that might be good.
Kelly, he said he'll hold, so.
Well, I was on. It said that they knew I was there, but I didn't change from, so I'm gonna try to log in again.
yeah, we were surprised to see it over there, and then I said, well,
Yeah.
family bought it, I guess, this big lot, and it's right by the condos and stuff, so we're just wondering, what the heck's going on here?
Yeah, because
Well,
it's a perfect spot for
his-
people to park and load on there and
His son is
Yeah.
taking over.
taking over out of necessity, but doesn't really want to do it.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
Doesn't want to run it as
See,
a
it doesn't,
business.
it doesn't go from here.
Oh. Hmm.
And they've actually called Katie and asked for a new lease
Nice.
for next year. But there may be a
Yeah.
She
sale.
sent me an email.
Wow.
There seemed to be a good participation with that, this past
Yeah,
summer.
it's very popular, and when the owner was running it, he put a lot
I
of
mean, I can
energy
try, I can do
in.
it on my phone.
Last year was a little bit down, I think, just because he was
I do.
The sunset views were fantastic.
Yeah.
Summer.
Yeah,
So we could do it by phone. That's an option, if that's okay.
Yeah, I told him that we were re-logging in and that,
It shows that I'm logged in and that they've started it, but it doesn't go from here.
okay, let's see what he says here. Meeting passcode. Think you said a new passcode. Are you using passcode 885455? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just join with your phone. And then
Yeah. And we're in, it's up to.
it's weird, because sometimes, like, if I'm in my truck or something, like, I'll try to do it by phone, I try to do my iPad at home, and it's confusing.
I see. Because of their time. You're all in
Right.
one meeting.
Right.
Recording in progress.
Can you hear us?
Can hear you loud and clear.
Sorry, we were having technical issues with logging in through the PC, but so you're on a phone, so I don't know if you can kind of talk through some things doing that in the meantime.
Yeah, I can definitely talk through some things. Do you think there's any way that you'd be able to get on from a computer just for the visual aspect, or you don't think that's possible?
We'll keep trying.
Yeah, you keep trying, and I can kind of start my presentation just verbally, and hopefully somewhere in the beginning we can get that piece up and running. But hopefully this new link seems to be easier than the old one for whatever reason. Well, nice to meet everyone. My name's Matt Manistee from Docwa. I've been here for about 7 years. I was one of the first employees. Been helping marinas see value in Docwa and hopefully increasing revenue, occupancy, and creating a better guest experience and bring more economic revenue to every town we work with. So super excited to meet you all and hopefully answer a lot of questions and show you how we're working with 2,500 marinas across the country and 200 or 300 municipalities across the country as well. But really just want to start. I know it sounded like there was a lot of folks joining us. Would love to know who's joining us and what positions, just so I have a better understanding of who's on the call.
I'll start. I'm George Becker, the chairman of the Harbor Commission.
Nice to meet you, George.
Mary Lou Mydell, vice chairman.
Tom Swedenborg, member.
Jeff McCullough, Public Works Director and the Harbor Master.
Wesley Smith, member.
Wayne Johnson, member.
Bill Gamble, city manager.
There we go.
Recording in progress.
Looks like we have hang up.
Awesome. Looks like we might be able to hang up on the phone so we don't get too much feedback, but hopefully that works. Let me see if I share my screen. You all can see it. Can you guys still hear
Yeah,
me?
we can see, yeah,
Yes, thank
we
you.
can see it.
Awesome. Perfect. My video's not on, so I'll turn that on so you all can see me. Well, nice to meet you all, and thank you for taking a couple minutes to learn a little bit more about Docwa. First and foremost, kind of want to jump in. I know sounds like the biggest belief of where Docwa can help is, hopefully driving in more boaters to the city and the town and to the marina. Hopefully driving more profitability to the marina, but also bringing in more economic development for small businesses, restaurants, everyone else in the town that hopefully the marina was built for. Just want to make sure, is that the understanding from everyone on the commission as well of where Docwa hopefully will be the best position to help from a marketing standpoint?
Exactly.
That's correct.
Awesome. And has anyone, is anyone on the committee a Docwa user or used our services anywhere? I know we work with, probably close to 150 marinas on the Great Lakes, but curious if anyone's ever used Docwa before.
Mary Lou and I had both used it in Chicago and other spots.
Awesome. Loved it to hear. I know Chicago's city we've been working with for probably 5 years now. So we work with all 13 of their marinas, I believe. And so every single boater that goes into Chicago and stays at one of the municipal locations has to use Docwa in their standpoint, from the streamlining and time savings at the size they're at. They leverage Docwa for both the marketing and the operational benefit there. But locations like Chicago's of the world and many others that we work with on Lake Michigan have really helped grow our boater network. So we have a little over 350,000 boaters that use our app and our website daily to be able to keep all their information in one place, to be able to find and research and make reservations directly with marinas. And from boats from 30 to 60 feet registered in the US, over 74% of those folks have a DOCWA account. So been around for about 10 years, and I've been helping about 2,500 marinas today, whether it's with marketing, management, or both of those throughout the country. We also own a sister site, marinas.com. Marinas.com is kind of like the Yelp of the marine industry. Every marina in the world has a profile. It's been around since the 90s, so it was one of the first directories of marinas in the world. So between marinas.com and DOCWA, we see a little over 12.5 million views to our website a year, putting us up as the #1 most commonly visited boater resource in the world. So from a marketing standpoint, getting in front of more boaters and driving them into your marina, there's no better place digitally to do that than DOCWAMarinas.com. So any questions on kind of the high level of what DOCWA does and who we are before I kind of jump into some of the more detailed marketing benefits and tools that we offer?
None for me.
Perfect. But from a high level, how DOCWA is going to be beneficial to the marina and to the municipality is really just getting you in front of more boaters. So today, you guys do not have a pin on our map on iPhone or Android device for our 350,000 voters to see and to research and to actually make a physical booking with. So in our marketing tier of DOCWA, we would provide you with that pin. So today you can see kind of all of these pins that we work with throughout the country, and specifically, on Lake Michigan here. There's definitely a few, municipal marinas that we work with for sure, whether it's the city of Chicago here that I've mentioned, but also like Leland Township is another one that comes to mind right away. But from a boater standpoint, it becomes very easy. I'm able to say I want to go to, let's see here, Belmont, Harbor in Chicago. I'm able to go to their profile page that we would build for you all, and you'd be able to edit and update. It'd have all of it about us, about the marina and the city. It'd have amenities, services. It'd have cancellation policy, website, phone, contact, map. It'd have all of the reviews that we're able to solicit from your boaters post checkout to build up that digital presence through marinas.com here. We also have a nationally acclaimed Boater Choice Award that you can see Belmont Harbor has won over the last 4 years. So a great way to try and get that national accreditation through our services to hopefully drive in more and more boaters. But from a boater standpoint, all of these marinas are closed this time of the year. So let me go a little bit farther south to show you exactly how the experience works here. We'll pick somewhere nice and warm, Key West. So if I was a boater, I'd be able to go to your profile. I'd be able to have all my boat specs saved on file. So a lot of the value for a boater is their contact information, their payment information, their itinerary is all saved in one location, making it easy to pick your boat if you have multiple, pick your arrival date, your departure date, have that calculated price based off your rates in season, out of season, tiered by vessel size, night minimums, so forth. You'll pick any electric offering, and then bring to a quick summary screen where I'm able to see my payment method, my Amex encrypted securely on file, all the information. I'm able to put, a special request for a portside tie, or I'm traveling with my best friend, can we be next to each other on the docks? I have to legally agree to all your cancellation, your terms, conditions, saving a step and guaranteeing that every single boater has legally agreed to all of your rules and regulations. And then I'm able to request the reservation. Everything is a pending reservation request. Nothing is confirmed until marina manager or the harbor master confirms it on their end. So whoever is affiliated with the back end of the account would get a text and an email saying, hey, there's a new reservation through Aqua. You'd be able to open it up on, any phone, a tablet, your work computer, your home computer, review everything about the reservation on the back end of Aqua's cloud-based system, and confirm, decline, or waitlist it. So a very easy experience for the voter to make these requests in 10, 15 seconds at any time of the day, whether you're on your couch with your wife having a glass of red wine, or during the workday at lunch planning the weekend trip, in collecting every piece of information that the harbor team needs to make a decision on if they can confirm or decline this reservation. So this is the flow, and it is instantly transferred to the harbor team to be able to handle. Before I get too far, any questions on kind of that reservation aspect and how DOC would get you in front of boaters to then be able to make these reservations directly with you?
I think my question is does the fee that we would be paying for DACWA's marketing / reservation, does that depend on how much information we put on the site?
No, it's really based around how you use the software. Is it just for marketing? Is it for management, for your seasonal contracts and things like that? Which I think we already established it was just the marketing.
Right,
and then it would be
so-
the size.
Go ahead.
What was? And then it would be based on the size of the marina. So how many slips you have available and you have in your marina is a second piece on how the price is determined. So you all aren't paying the same amount of money as the city of Chicago, obviously.
So I guess I have a question, because I'm not sure how exactly it works. So I understand the DACWA process that you just went through for making a reservation. And as you are aware, or I'm sure you're aware, we also, our primary reservation system is through the Michigan Department of Natural Resources. Are those, or can they be integrated in any way? Or does the marina manager receive that DACWA reservation request and then have to manually approve or do something internally to block that out?
Yeah, great question. There's no integration today. Unfortunately, we do work with quite a few DNR properties that leverage their services as well. How the process works most efficiently for them, from my understanding, is reservation comes in through DACWA. You would check in DNR, since that is your full system you're using, or whatever that full system is, to see if you have space for this vessel for the dates that they're requesting. If you do, you would confirm it in DACWA, and then you're able to change availability and create a placeholder in DNR system to mark it as filled for those dates. Therefore, then not allowing the boater on the DNR site to then double book it. Correct.
So if I'm going to ask a question of our marina manager. So Katie, because we've used this a little bit this past season. So when that happens, you get a request in, you go into the DNR system, confirm we've got an availability, then you can block that out in the DNR system and then notify the request through DACWA that they were approved. Is that the process?
So right now, what we did was we asked them to call the marina because we weren't quite set up to do that.
Okay.
People can book online through the DNR system, so they can book at the same time that we can take a reservation through DACWA. That's why I don't think it's a good idea to work. Does it make sense? So people can book online. I can go look and see if there's a slip available at that time. But yeah, there might be somebody online at that time booking that slip, and then I go back to DACWA and say, slip's available. Oh, sorry, it was booked. Not on my end, but online. So that's where the problem lies.
But I guess, but there
I
is a
think marinas-
process. There is a process. If you had the dual systems, you'd have to.
Yeah,
Compare.
you usually block it out in the DNR first. You block it out in the DNR first, and then go to DACWA and confirm it.
Right.
That way, you know that you're not going to get one through the DNR after you've confirmed in DACWA. So block it out first, then confirm in DACWA. It eliminates any double booking potential whatsoever.
So do you feel, Katie, that when you do the DNR, that you're losing boaters if you were to not use them and just use DACWA? I mean, if we're paying for DACWA, we would want to use, you know, obviously, the reservation. The DNR, we're not paying anything, the customer pays. But you know what I mean? So I guess I don't, the DNR, what is special about the DNR? Do they give us the publicity that we need? Do they provide the marketing tool or the publicity? I know that they do camping and they do hiking, they do all these other things, but can they target in that site
Well, a lot of those.
the marketing
a lot of our
part of
customers will
boating?
Stay at different municipalities. So like, they stay in Ludington at the municipal marina. They're already in the system. They go and they book Manistee, or they book Frankfurt, or they go camping. So it's kind of a all-in-one package.
So you're afraid of dropping DNR due to maybe not getting the boaters?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't, can we drop them? Could we drop
I
them?
don't know.
I didn't think we could, because we're a grant and aid harbor, so
Exactly.
we have received many, many grants to build it
Okay.
originally and then to upgrade and enhance it. So we're kind of bound by some of
Okay.
that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So then, just to make it clear, it's difficult. Why is it difficult to do the two? It is because of the hours you can commit to it, or just that you don't like it, or you're just. I mean, how do you feel we can market it, you know, well to get every slip seasonal and or, you know.
Well, so I guess
I need to understand
my
why
question, so I
these-
think we are bound to the DNR site, okay?
Okay, that's cool.
But
They don't do marketing.
But I just wanted to see, if we move forward with the DACWA product, whatever that is,
Right.
what's the process to integrate them? And it sounds like there is a way, it may be
Correct.
a little bit more labor intensive or a little bit more cumbersome, but there is a way to do that. And we may want to explore it, and maybe Matt could give us a couple of those harbors that do it dually, and we can talk to them and see how they've
1,000,000%, yeah.
internally integrated it.
Willing to do that?
It's no
Or is
different
it
than taking your phone
out of the-
reservation.
Is it
You
like?
know, we're-
Yeah.
I mean, I like the marketing part of this, and I thought that we could sign on for the marketing and not do the reservation systems. That's.
Well, we're just listening to all the information.
Yeah, we're
Right.
just kind of
That's
just.
what I would be interested in, just the marketing aspect of it.
I think it'd be great.
Yeah,
to-
and you're
Under
able to.
reservations, just
Call the
have
marina, yeah, like
have a
call-
link under reservations, instead of
Right.
using that, have a link to the DNR site. Because I'm not gonna ask Katie to do that dual
Right.
registration, that's a disaster. You're gonna have people
Right.
all cranked up because she's doing one, there's doing the other, and especially then you get called out.
Or somebody didn't
I'd say
reply
that's,
within a minute, 5 minutes or.
yeah,
10
or even just a
minutes,
link that
you
says
know.
for reservations, click here, if that's allowable.
Yeah, so I mean, I would definitely be interested in that. I think that would be the way to go, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I think like how I like to think of it is there's a reason why the Hyatts and the Marriotts of the world list on Expedia, Hotels.com, everything. It's just sometimes you can get access to different types of boaters, and if you can drive in and the marina's not full today, you know, it's an ancillary way to make sure it is going to be full and profitable. You know, I think over the Great Lakes this year, we sent a little over $25 million in transient reservations. So there's a lot of boaters out there moving around, and I think when you're affiliated with something like the Aqua, it's very easy to get in front of them, where today, you know, without having the pin kind of not visible, if you will.
So I have another question for you. You panned out and showed us, obviously, Key West, which I wish I was there. So your product is nationwide then?
Exactly. So when we think of like groups like the Loopers, which travel thousands of nautical miles all across the country, that's where we're partnered with, and we have access to not just, you know, folks that are going from one municipality to another. We're a national, not just a DNR for Michigan only. So there's a lot of accessibility to more boaters with the software like.
That's actually why I asked the question, because we are becoming more and more aware that those loopers are could be a huge market for us to capture. And if a lot of them are subscribers of yours, that would be That'd be interesting to know.
Yeah, there's about 250 loopers a year, and I was just bringing up my app because 75% of boaters are using our wireless device. So if you look at any pin here, it's a marina we work with. So when we're looking at folks going into Chicago that are loopers and going down, it's every single big stop they're stopping at.
You're probably familiar with that AGCLA, I think it is, American.
Yeah, sorry, that's the Great Loopers Association.
We're also a member on that too. We started that last year, and I think we probably got a few from that because we met quite a few this fall at our open house that just happened to come in for that.
1,000,000%, yeah. So ALCGA in loopers, is just kind of the abbreviation I was using, but yeah, we're partnered with it. We're their premier booking platform. So like, Chicago is a big destination for every single looper.
Yep.
They're using Aqua there, so it's just because we are that nationwide accessibility. They tend to, when they're making 150 reservations over the course of a year, want to have that one quick place where they can do it kind of in each state quickly.
So if we go with the marketing and that, we can provide, like just had a presentation from the tourism board with a nice video about fishing and motor boating and the area and stuff like that. We could probably include that somehow. As well as everything we've got going in this town, because we've got a lot, and that's what we're trying to promote, because, once you're on your boat, you get here, you might want to go for a hike, use our river walk. Golfing is huge here. So there's a ton of things that need to be broadcast, so to speak, to let everyone know what's going on here.
1,000,000%. Like I have a couple municipalities that the first picture is a video, and it's like a welcome to XYZ city, town, and things that are going on. You're able to edit all this information. And then one of the nice pieces, and on the back end, you're actually able to set up a chain of emails. So you're able to have a confirmation of pre-arrival and import and departure email that's able to highlight and customize based on what you guys want to push and drive. So it's going to pull in the city's logo. It's going to customize to the boater's name. It's going to pull in all their information. But you can have town events going on. You can have local restaurants and shops and have their information in here. You could have fishing tournaments that are going to happen in the future. You're able to ask for reviews. You're able to have links to different town, pages. So these are a great way to be able to, once Doc was able to drive in boaters, now how can we get them to not just sit on the docks for a day and then leave as a looper? How can we get them out into town and spending money and doing things that you guys are investing all of your time and economic, value into trying to grow, the city?
Yeah. I think we're going to discuss that in our next presentation, how to get people out.
Part of the DACWA marketing package as well, on marinas.com, our sister site, you guys would be featured on the homepage for all 12 million folks to see. You would have a platinum marinas.com profile. As you can see here, it has a different feel to it. It removes, advertisements off of your page and puts them on all the local competitors. Gives you guys a nice little platinum marina.com, official ranking here. But traditionally receives about 10 times more views to your profiles and about 8 times more interactions, whether that's contacting the marina and putting through a reservation, or contacting for a seasonal annual slip, or booking a transient slip directly with the marina.
So even if we didn't, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Didn't use the reservation system, like last year we were getting contacts, asking about questions, this and that, we'd still probably end up having that capability, right?
Or would it just be the phone number that we wouldn't have to go on the site, because the phone number would be there, which would be directly to the marina to make the reservations, correct? Right.
Yeah.
Right, or the web address. So
Couple different options you would have. For one, this is your profile, just to give everyone a view on the back end. From last year,
Right.
It looks like there was, I think each page is 50, 2 full pages of basically transient requests.
Right.
So
Right.
boaters are going to Docwa over the last year and trying to book with you digitally because they enjoy the modern and convenient experience from an app.
Yeah.
They know Docwa, but they weren't able to. So what they were able to do is, this is your free profile that you have. They were able to make a general inquiry and
Correct.
say, hey, we want, short-term wet slips, and
Right.
here's our information.
Right.
And then they'd have to get redirected maybe to the DNR or call you directly with a credit card over the phone or in person and go through this kind of lengthy reservation process. So you're able to continue to do it like this. You just have an elevated marketing presence, or you're able to unlock in that marketing paid tier, the reservation and what we consider the more premium experience for your boaters that they're used to and enjoy at all the other marinas that are on Docwa.
Got it.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
If we wanted to add or subtract services at any time, I'm sure that's possible.
As far as like amenities and offerings,
Yeah,
yeah, you just go to your settings up here, you go to public profile, and then you're able to add photos, pictures, amenities, fuel pricing, everything in one click.
So we don't have to go to you in order to make any changes. We can do it
Oh, no,
ourselves.
no,
Okay.
no. You guys have access to everything.
Access to
in
all
here.
of that, what we want to
Correct.
put on.
beautiful.
Yep.
If we wanted to add reservations sometime or upgrade the site or whatever, that can be done too, I'm sure.
Yeah, like if you guys bought the marketing and just wanted to have the elevated presence and just get more leads and inquiries like you did last year, just get more of them to fill the marina more.
Yep.
Kind of like pouring gas on the fire, if you will. You saw some good results. We want more. You're going to get that with that higher tier. And let's say halfway through the season, you said like, hey, we had 50 boaters that said, why don't you guys actually take the actual reservation and you want to try it out? Like we could just flip it on for you.
What is the cost difference between just the straight marketing versus the full package?
So the marketing package includes it. So like there's no middle package. It's very affordable. It's $149 a month on an annual basis. So right under, a couple $1,000.
And that's throughout the 12 months of the year, or is that just during the season?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's $149 a month on an annual basis. So $1,788 paid up front or paid monthly for the 12 months. But it is a 12-month service. So what we see is there's boaters that are trying to make reservations in February, March, April
Yeah.
for the summer and lock in their vacation rental on
Yes.
land with their
Just
boat. There's people that are looking for seasonal slips when they're at a boat show and bought a boat in December. So there's a lot of different times of the year that folks are leveraging the software to do research.
That makes sense. And that 149 was the marketing package. What would be the full package be then?
Like the marketing package includes the transient reservations.
Oh, it does.
The full package is like a digital marina map and like contract management for your seasonal and annuals. That's the full kind of shebang that we really haven't covered much at all.
Gotcha.
That's like a full marina management software that includes marketing and management. But like if you're saying the full package, just meaning like taking online transient reservations, that's included in the 149.
So
I
it'd
got
just
it.
be a matter of taking that tab or not doing that tab.
Exactly.
I see. So the
It's in there, but we just.
marketing reservation package it's all in that package.
It's all
You
the
can
same
just
thing.
toggle what you want,
Right.
which services you'd like to utilize.
Exactly. Like you
Okay.
can just say like, hey, we don't want to take online reservations. We just want to take inquiries. And then
Yeah.
you can tell them tomorrow that you want to taking online reservations because, we read a case study that it increases reservations by 25%. And you do it. So completely up to you. It's all one package though on the marketing tier.
Okay. That seems pretty reasonable.
Oh, yeah.
I can we do it on purpose, to be honest, to just be straightforward with everyone. Like it's a very lightweight way to get everyone invested in the software and hopefully provide municipalities and small mom and pop marinas the marketing expense that the safe harbors of the world and the larger enterprise, operators are able to do. So at $149 a month, if we sent you one seasonal boater, you're going to 2x your revenue. I think if we look at, you got 26 leads last year, 10 boaters favored your profile. If we kind of probably added up the revenue that we sent you and you guys were able to kind of hopefully confirm, I'm guessing it was probably a 5x, ROI. So it's nice to have that first year of the free version to kind of see kind of some data points and have some proof points around how well it was successful. And then with, the paid marketing, it's like anything else. You can now kind of expect to have a lot more than that.
Do we pay you a commission on those reservations?
Nope.
Okay.
If you turned on the online transient reservation booking, because we collect the credit card and it's that very seamless experience, there's a credit card processing fee of 3.5%. No commission ever on anything. We think of everything as a long-term partnership. If we're taking 20% from you every month in every reservation, why are you going to use us long-term? So we never will do that, never have done that. Boaters don't pay anything to use Aqua either. It's completely free for them.
It's another good app.
The last thing I'll say kind of on the pricing in that aspect, I know we've been speaking with the team for over a year now. I will say I know there are some changes to pricing above my pay grade that are coming down in January in the new year, just because of things that we've added, network growing. So it is increasing a little bit, not much, but if you were to sign on in December, you would be locked into that lower rate, just to put that out there. So there's no surprises like you come back to me in January and it's more expensive. Just want to make sure that I'm transparent with you all.
Sure. Well, it's all fantastic. I love it. I know most of us here probably do. I don't know what the process is, so that's the next step if we decide on how to do it or when to do it. Yep.
Yeah, so it's super easy. I mean, we have a team of 75 folks here at Aqua. You sign a DocuSign contract. It's net 30 payment terms, whether it's monthly or upfront for the $1788 or $149 a month. Once that's taken care of, essentially we would set up an implementation call with your account management team and your implementation specialist. Those two folks are going to work on essentially really customizing your profile on both marinas.com and Aqua and optimizing it for what we see as getting the best results, setting up your rates, getting every new pictures, language, amenities, services, upgrading the emails, your presence, and then you guys are up and running. Unlimited support and training for whatever you need from our team, but a very lightweight, could be one call for an hour and you guys are up and running. Especially since you already have a profile on the free version, it makes it even easier for us to kind of get you up and running on the paid version.
So Matthew, if we lock it in at the $149 in December, come next December, when it comes up, we have to renew again. Would that price still be locked in, or would we have to go then as it increases?
Yeah, I can't guarantee anything, to be honest. I'd say it's always a conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you
but it is a yearly.
If you guys said you weren't going to do it again, I'm sure we'd probably give you the same price. To be honest, it's not like a huge amount for us, so we definitely want to keep your business and win it. So there'd be a conversation about 60 days before your renewal date.
Well, just like any other business, we've got a marketing budget. We're trying to educate ourselves on what tools we have available, what those might cost, what we think the benefit would be, and then we've got to make a decision as a group, how to move forward and implement. But I appreciate the information. I learned a lot more about the product.
Yeah, no, I know everyone's time's valuable and there's a lot of things going on. So I really appreciate you all taking the time to sit down and learn a little bit more about Aqua. I don't think I could be more confident that you guys will see a large positive return on your investment here. Just being here at Aqua for about 7 years and helping about 200 marinas in the Great Lakes specifically come on, and knowing a lot of the benchmark comps around you that use us. So super excited to hopefully take that next step with you all, and have a conversation next year about the success that you had. As far as just one last question on my end, I'm guessing there's some sort of, commission vote. Didn't know what next steps on your end of like making some sort of decision look like.
That I don't know. Jeff would.
Well, our we're in a work session right now, so technically we can't take action. However, the dollar amount is within, it's within my spending limit without any other steps. So we just need to have a conversation and some recommendations, I think, amongst the commission, and we'll make
Awesome.
we'll make some
Would
decisions.
it be helpful? Obviously, I'll send a follow-up email and some more information on the marketing and the pricing. I'll attach a contract just so you can see what that looks like as well. I'm sure you want to take a look at that, and then I can follow up. Who would be the best person to kind of send that all to? Put in the name of.
He's got your information. I think if you just maintain the communication with Kelly and then she can forward it to us.
Perfect.
We'll keep
The
it simple at
contract-
this point.
The contract, when I build it, just needs someone's name. Is there anyone specific that would, at the end of the day, if you were to move forward, would execute, just so I can not have to redo it 2 or 3 times?
Can it just be in the city of Manistee, or does it need to be a person?
I think it needs to be a person on top of the city as well. So
Yeah.
usually it's like a city manager or someone.
That would probably be me then.
Okay.
So Jeff, Jeff, Mikula, Mikula.
Awesome. And what's the best email for you, Jeff?
If it's the first letter J, last name Mikula, at ManisteeMI.gov.
Perfect. Easy enough. Well, again, I'll be respectful of everyone's time. Really appreciate it. Really excited about the potential. And please feel free to reach out to me via my email or cell if there's anything I could ever answer. But I'll definitely shoot over a follow-up email after this.
Fantastic, Matt. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you all. Have a great day. Happy holidays if I don't talk to you either. Bye-bye.
See you soon.
Thanks for working so hard to get that up. It was much more beneficial with the video.
We
Yes.
need to buy you lunch. Oh, okay. Want to keep you happy.
Okay, moving right along. I guess you may be from Z-Cart Rentals? Fantastic.
Our meetings never go this long, Amy, I apologize.
And I have kids coming and keep track of my time.
Yep.
Whatever you need to,
Can I pass one of these in?
Sure.
Kelly, can you pull up my site? Zee'sCartRentals.com. Hello, my name is Amy Zakryzik. My husband and I opened Z's Cart Rentals this past summer on June 27th. Give you a little history of how it came about. We're a blended family of 5. We have every other spring break with our children. And I was pushing a button to book a 12-day cruise with 7 of us and noticed that the school systems did not have the same spring breaks. Our triplets go to Catholic school. Our 2 daughters are in 2 different public systems, which were the same. First time ever that MCC didn't put their spring breaks together, and they didn't overlap. So there went that vacation with all of our children, and having only a vacation every other year with my kids, it's important to me to travel with them. So I got a good idea of booking 2 trips, a 6-day trip with our daughter and a 6-day trip with the boys. And my husband agreed, so I booked a Key West trip with our teen daughters. Headed down there this past March, and we went down to Duval Street, and I noticed a golf cart coming past me. It was all decaled up, and I thought it was a restaurant delivering food, is what came to my mind. Kept walking down Duval Street, endless, to walk down it, endless shops, seen more carts, different colors, different sizes, people on them like crazy. And then we came to a rental lot, and then another rental lot. I'm like, oh my God, these are all stinking rentals. Didn't say anything to my husband, so I sat on it in my head for about 3 days going over it, because if we started, we were looking for an investment, knowing that if we started this, I would be the one running it, so I needed to wrap my head around it. So we went back to our resort, we hung out, we took the girls back down to Duval Street to do some shopping about 3 days later, and it just came to me that Manistee would eat this up. Our little town in our city limits of what we can do would eat this up to have this transportation. All the boaters that come, all the tourists, the condos, the new hotel going up, the Hampton Inn, that's just gonna be right on our beaches. So we went to dinner at a nice restaurant with our girls, and I whispered in my husband's ear, I know what we're doing in Manistee. He said, what? And I whispered in his ear. We toasted our Prosecco, and he gave me that raised eyebrow like I'm interested.
And so anytime our daughters weren't around, we talked about this. We planned it, colors, names, design, how many, what kind of carts, where we're gonna get them from, what are we gonna do. So when we left Key West, we left with our business plan. Came back to Manistee for 4 or 5 days, revamping to take our boys to New York City. Get to New York and we're planning more and planning more. Now we need a building. So we thought of a couple and they didn't pan out. Miller's was one of them. I didn't like where it was at. So we were sitting in the biggest water park in New Jersey with our boys, and we snuck out to go have a drink. They didn't have a liquor license, and that was so loud in there I had to get out. So we went to have some Prosecco at a bar, and my husband thought of a more sign building. It wasn't on the market, but it had been on for years. It's been sitting vacant for 5 or 6 years. So I happened to have young Tom's number in my phone. We were in a B&I group together. Gave it to my husband. He called, and we had an appointment to look at the building the day we got back from New York City, the day after we got back from New York. We went to look at it. My husband bought it. So we have a 6,000 square foot garage to house these carts out of, and then a 2,200 square foot office space, which we have another project going on. 5 lots, which we have more projects going on. Endless development. We're invested deep into Manistee. Our carts were more than my house cost. We got 15 carts, 3 6-seaters, and 12 4-seaters, all gas powered. And we opened in 88 days from the Whisper in Key West. So I swear to God, we made 5,000 decisions in a short matter of time, but we did it. So we opened. I got 2 secretaries from the public school, a 7th grade science teacher, and a server to work with me. They're all coming back next year. So we worked seamlessly together. The first summer, without even anybody knowing about me, I did nearly $25,000 in rentals. My goal is $88,000 next summer is my goal. We can get more carts if we need them. At this time, I don't. I can do so much more business because I don't have every one of them out at the same time. So I don't need more right now. I already have 2 carts, one for 7 days next 4th of July that already rented from me this year, and then another one for 5 days over 4th of July because they had the fabulous time with their family. They know how many units I have, so they rented them already. So now how do I get them out into Manistee? These are good for the city limits of Manistee on our roads that are 30 miles an hour or less. So you can go to Maple Street to 12th. At the schools, you gotta come back. No more going down Maple, it turns into 45 there. You can go all the way down to the beach. You can even cross 31 and go to the east side, but we ask that you cross at a light as our rules. And you cannot go up Lakeshore Drive, so city limits ends over there on the north side. On my site, people come to me that have never been here in Manistee. Where do I stay? Where do I stay? How long, what do I do? So on my site, on the top, I have things to do, a little tab. If you click on that, I have everywhere that you can eat within carting distance, anywhere you can get a sweet treat, anywhere you can grab a cup of coffee, any store that you want to shop at. If you just want to have a cocktail, hotels you can stay at that you can cart to, and then sites to see and things to do. So I tweak that on a weekly basis with everything opening and closing and more things you could do. I should have an events tab that clicks right to Sammy's tab. So if you click on have a cocktail in any one of them, it'll have a picture, an address. Scroll down everywhere you can eat, and if you click on it, it'll give you a map how to get there, which is pretty cool. So I had a boater stop in who was having mechanical problems and had to stop in Manistee and wasn't planning on stopping here. He walked up to my shop. He found out from the bartender at North Channel Brewery about me. So he happens to have a seasonal business in North Carolina of a tubing business. So him and I had some great conversations, but he was doing the loop. He was going all the way down, waiting for Chicago to open up and then go down to Key West and back up to Key Largo. But he found out from the bartender, I need more boaters. I need more word out of how I can get my word out to boaters that they can walk it. I have a video that took me 45 seconds to walk off the dock, up, and you can walk past Outsider, and then you see my blue sign.
I guess that's the big thing, is how do we partner together to get, your carts rented and our harbor filled and vice versa.
Sammy, I have all of her material, goes in each one of my rentals.
Okay.
She kindly gives it to me. We are planning on doing a billboard off of Ludington area next spring. And then basically my traffic on my site. I do all of my social media stuff myself.
Well, then if we did something like we're just talking about with the DACWA, we could include you, obviously. With the Z-carts, because people, you know, they don't have to have a car, we got bicycles there. How many people want to ride a bike? Maybe some, maybe none.
Couldn't have asked for a better location
No.
as far as.
We couldn't have.
So,
And so many more things to do with that property.
And we've got a little parking lot there, maybe we could even have one there available for people to check it out and be ready to go, so you don't even have to walk up by you, potentially.
We deliver. You book online, or you can call me and you can just book that you want it delivered. So if it's in the city limits, we'll have it there. I went down to Sings Marina. She actually contacted me when she knew we were opening and said, "Oh my God, my boaters are going to eat this up." I brought cards down there, and I didn't get one call from that I know of from the Sings
Interesting.
boater. But she was really excited, so I brought everything down there. But to have it there where we deliver it and pick up.
Yeah,
Well, I think with, you know, and again, I'm, you know, being a private business and, you know, we're kind of that, you know, that somewhat of a government entity. You know, we've got cards down at the building already, but even at check-in, you know, like a lot of places, you know, here's places, you know, well, I guess it wouldn't be an issue, because hey, where should we go to eat? You know, here's restaurants.
Right.
And to have Z's cart there with a card or
And then
with
they
the
can
QR
come
code,
by.
boom, there you go.
Right.
I cannot imagine.
Take them
Yeah.
wherever they need to go.
Yep, hey, it's a 3 block, because
Right.
really, most boaters are gonna have dogs, or
Yeah.
they're gonna know they're gonna walk generally. Walking 2 blocks to your facility to grab a cart, I think is a no-brainer. I think we just have to make sure and maybe that's something, you know, a QR code on the door, or on the wall, or on the, you know, and check in, you know, with fuel. So, I think.
That laminated flyer you can have, and I think it has a QR code on it. Are we supposed to
It
put that
does.
on the bottom?
Actually,
Or not?
our cards have.
you're talking about our red card, or?
Our red card?
I think she was talking
No.
about.
Oh.
Her laminated.
Oh, that one. Oh, okay. I was
That's what we would need is,
Yeah.
we would need some of
Hers.
hers to put, right,
at our facility.
right.
And then we can help connect them.
My next task is to work with Mr. Fetter from the museum to get a Victorian tour tab, that they can take a Victorian tour. You know how many churches you can get to on a golf cart?
Yeah.
I mean, that's my next tab for the people that need to go see God.
Yes.
Don't we all? But a seasonal business, I'll open as soon as Michigan weather allows us in the spring, and I stay open as long as fall weather allows me in the fall. We're open 7 days a week in the summer. I'm adding one more employee that will fit in really well with us.
Yeah, I didn't think you were gonna make it last year, next thing you know, you were open. Sure.
Yep. And I work with everyone. I aim to please.
Nice.
If you see our rentals, and our rates are not going up next year, we're keeping, these are very reasonable rates. The carts we have, the 6-seaters were $23,000 out the door. The 4-seaters were $15,000.
Yeah.
$17,000. So they're not cheap. It's a
Right.
Cadillac of golf carts. So these fees to rent these are nothing.
We see them up and down our Bryant Street all the time heading to the beach, so yeah, they're out there.
And we're strict on, they're not jack wagons when they drive these.
Yeah.
I appreciate that you hand out the rules.
I laminated the rules and they go in every cart, front and back.
Yeah.
Because groups rent these out and then let their son drive them and didn't tell the son that you don't drive on the sidewalk. You don't
Right.
drive on the sand.
Yep.
Right.
But believe it or not, if I have someone misbehaving, I get calls. My husband gets
Yeah.
calls.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's-
And it happened over 4th of July where there could have been something really bad with a teenager that was on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, police were called and he was going the wrong way around our loop.
Yeah.
It wasn't pretty. So, I think our insurance agent called, my worker who was playing softball called, off-duty police officer called. So, and he's the one who pulled him over. But good stuff, because our community, we just can't have anything bad happen. Safety's first on these carts. And they're the same rules as driving a car. You can't have an open container or to-go cup of alcohol.
We're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to, so drinking and driving is the same on a golf cart.
Right. Well, they're good-looking carts. I mean, I wouldn't be at all afraid to get in it, thinking it'd break down or something would happen. I mean, it's
Well,
nice
getting your
looking.
info in the building was probably one of the first things we need to do, cards and whatever else, and then vice versa for you and us to you. And whatever advertising we start, yeah, we plan on.
Just get us a couple of those laminated things with QR code. I think that's a good start.
Yeah, we have our cards, yes.
Yeah, cards are ready.
Perfect.
Yeah, and we've spoke to, I need to do an ad in Sammy's stuff.
Yeah,
And one
I
of
think
her-
we can that stuff out, so.
Yes.
If you have that with a QR code or something, that, we need to be actually stuff too, so.
Okay. Yeah, any other questions, or?
No, I know we need to stay in touch for sure.
We even trailer these carts,
You do.
Oh, wow.
if it fits into our schedule. But one wanted in Onekama just to tool around for a wedding.
Yeah.
All just from Portage Point Inn, where they're gonna use it.
Oh, fantastic.
We had two Lake Michigan guys. My husband sold property up there to them, so they rented for a week, and then his neighbor rented one for 5 days. So if it's a 5 to a 7 day rental, it's a no-brainer for us to trailer it up there.
Great.
Excellent. Thank you, Amy.
All right, you're welcome.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you.
Lots of good information today.
Guess it all depends on where to go forward and how we do it and when to do it. Do we wait till the next meeting in January? Would we call something together before then? I don't,
I think the DACO thing is a no-brainer, at least for a year.
I do too.
What's our advertising
At
budget?
least,
I think we still have 5,000, left in it. To me, if there was, if the DACWA package was one with reservations and a different price without, then I would want us to discuss it a little bit more.
Are we looking, yeah, but we can't look for reasons.
But for $1,800,
She's got the ability to hit the tab to say, I don't
The
want
best thing.
reservations.
But,
She's
I
got
guess-
that control.
I guess my opinion is for $1,800, and we specifically put together marketing stuff, that I would think we move forward with that. We continue to evaluate and explore. At some point, I feel like they're gonna figure out how to integrate with the state.
I do too.
But, and we deal with this all the time. We don't have a lot of staff time to chase the stuff around. So we've gotta respect that there's cool things out there, but if we don't have the time and the staff to be able to implement that, we're gonna create problems for our customers.
true.
So I'd like to talk to some of the other marinas that are trying to do both and see how much burden that is. But I think we should do the package and then use as much of it as we can.
Oh, absolutely.
No, I think just watching Katie's face.
Well, it's funny because.
I know, she doesn't have time.
We're already listed, and we can, and I am the administrator on that, so I don't know what we're paying for, I guess. I mean, they've merged with marinos.com, we already
We
have.
don't have a pin for DACO, or we're not in DACO, are we?
No. Well,
We
yes
want
and
that
no.
pin, that's what we're paying for is the pin, so I mean,
No, and I kind of what I,
Yeah, I agree with that, though.
yeah,
For me,
It has lots of value.
right.
For me, the value is everybody that's in Lake Michigan, they know that we use the DNR site. That's what you do. There's a growing group of people that use DACWA, and especially to me, if the loopers are using that and that we can capture that, I mean, how many rentals does it take to pay that off?
Right.
In a season?
and did he answer when we were talking about and kind of going through our eyes back and forth as far as reservations? Did he answer, the reservation site reservations and just a link to the DNR? I mean,
Yes.
That's what I didn't hear that.
The way that it operated this past season was, it gave you a phone number if you wanted to make a reservation. So in Dakwa, if you are trying to reserve at a Dakwa member marina, you click it and it's made. This, you either you could post the DNR website, or
Or
you
make a
could,
phone
or make the phone call.
Or an
but-
automatic reply that shows our number.
Yeah, or something, but when that would happen, or when that did happen this season, please correct me if I'm wrong, you had to be working, see it, be able to check, and then respond back, and then had to block it out anyway, so to me, there's no difference, whether you're calling or you get an online submittal, it's the same end process.
I mean, Kate, you deal with this stuff more than, down in the weeds more than any of us. What do you think? Do you think this would be a wise $1,800 expenditure,
I think
or?
without, I mean, minus the reservations, I think it would be fine. I think so.
And
Try
he's,
it out. Let's try it
Because
out.
you feel,
Let's try it a year.
so our numbers, did you ever figure out how many from that Dakwa,
He
what
hit
was
it.
it, 26? I know, but how many actually stayed at the harbor? That's what I'm getting at.
You
Out
had-
of the 26,
you had
how
8.
many was actual, now would that 8 have been would have been there no matter what through the DNR site reservation, or was it brand new customers? I mean, are we trying to target new customers, or are we just trying to keep the ones we have, and then hopefully their word of mouth will fill up? Because I think our bottom line is we want to fill all the slips. That's how I look at it. And unfortunately, your job, you're holding, what, 3-4 jobs under one roof type of thing? I mean, it's hard, same with you, Jeff, to run a business when you only have part-time people.
yeah.
But the guys in the dock, we were getting the pings too, or their phone numbers. So those guys could get it on their phone too, the 2 dock attendants or somebody when they're running
Well,
around.
I mean, that's a lot to ask for them to get that on their phone.
Yeah.
So
And they're out, I mean, they're filling up, they're running around the
They're
marina.
getting paid,
So them to
so-
check
Well-
emails, it doesn't.
How much of a lift, how much messaging are you getting? I'm looking at that, I have 4 different email accounts, 3 different devices, and 16 different messaging, and I can't keep up. Are you?
It's tough because I get it on the weekends and I don't.
Yeah.
On the weekends.
Well, that's what
I
I
have to
mean.
go in
We
and check
gotta
my
look at the
Right.
marina though
Yeah.
as like a hotel.
Right.
And they're not going to not answer their phones
Right.
on a Friday night,
Right.
Saturday or Sunday. You
Right.
know what I mean? Because they're not gonna lose that business. So maybe we need to somehow look at someone that can handle that kind of request. It's a service, it's
Traffic.
customer service.
traffic.
And if we can't accommodate that, then we're not in the business of becoming an enterprise. Because
Well,
we're
we are
missing those
accommodating
calls.
the
We're missing those
reservations.
calls.
We are, I mean, we have open hours, we close at 9 o'clock.
Right.
so-
Right.
There's-
But I mean for you.
Somebody's
We're not there
answering the phone
24
during
hours.
business hours.
Right.
24 hours, right.
Respectfully, that's the crux of it.
I know.
Yeah.
That's the crux of
Yeah.
it. So
Right.
we are not a, we're open 7 days a week. We're not managed 7 days a week.
So
Right.
that's
But
I'm
what we've
saying.
talked about internally is, I mean, to her credit, she's ran it through
Right.
through a couple seasons.
Yeah, yeah.
Staff got better. We need to keep that training. We want to keep
Right.
those people returning. And, I mean, respectfully, if you get a graduate out of high school and you can keep them in a summer job for 4 years,
Absolutely.
you've done pretty good. And by the 3rd, 4th year, they're pretty trained. They're pretty.
Right.
You should be pretty reliable.
Well, now
And
it's
so
more
we've
like
talked.
2 years.
Huh?
Where we can,
Now it's more like 2 years because they're moving on to internships, colleges are
Yeah.
requiring more.
So, my point is, unless you find that key person that you could
right.
put some responsibility on.
Right, right.
The off hours that we're not open.
Right.
And so we kind of need to build to that. And
When do you
Exactly.
put out for employees and start looking for them?
usually beginning of April,
Yeah.
late March.
I think March last year, I think we went earlier.
Yeah,
last
we
year.
try to get them because everybody's competing, so.
Sure.
And you know, we put it in locally, we're hoping parents and friends see the ad, we're hoping they get it when they're on spring break or they come home for Easter and
I
stuff, so.
sent an email out to the schools.
I was gonna
I
say,
mean, because the college kids, don't get me wrong, I mean, I love all my college kids, but they go back to school.
Yeah.
right,
August now.
right.
And we're open third week, I think we close.
Do you get any-
September, so.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's,
But what, and it's traditionally been college type students or summer employees, but it wouldn't hurt to get a teacher who wants a little summer
Senior
job.
citizen,
Absolutely.
You know what I
Or even the
mean?
weekends, I mean. cover
right, just to do
weekends,
cover
yeah.
weekends.
Do you ever get anybody requesting to come back earlier? Like, hey, I worked there last year.
Right,
I wanna work here
right.
again.
Doesn't offer
Yeah,
benefits,
and
it's not full-time.
we hire,
It's tough.
we hire 15, 16 seasonal people through the parks, the marina, the street department. So when we get those applications in, it's always, well, what are you interested in? And that's, we already have enough people there, but we've got an opening here, and
Sure.
you know, we try to accommodate and try to give them, if they come back, give them a salary bump each
Right.
year.
Right.
Because you've already invested in us, we'll invest back in you.
Yep,
But quite frankly, that hasn't worked very well the last 3 years because minimum wage went up, and then with COVID and now everybody, I mean, you can make a lot of money working at McDonald's.
sure.
Yeah, the basic,
And also competing with
It is
the
20.
Parks Department, because they're 7 to 3:30, Monday through Friday.
yeah.
Right, and how are you
And
gonna
weekends
get,
and
yeah,
nights.
Straight 40 hour, yep.
Yeah, so it's tough, it really is.
it is, it
And
is.
You gotta be creative.
We're on the right track, I know that, so,
Well, our numbers are up this year.
yes.
Right.
We're on an upward trend.
yeah.
I got my first seasonal contract in the mailbox today.
All right.
And it's a new one, so.
See, where are they coming from? Does it say?
Here, I didn't, actually didn't really. I mean, it's somebody that I sent this to.
Did you ever get a hold of the, I know we had it at the open house, the sign-up sheet.
Yeah.
Did
yeah.
you get a hold of those two people? Did they,
One replied, this is one from the open house.
Nice.
this is,
One
okay, the couple?
responded and one did not.
Okay.
Yes, this is from the open house.
Okay. I think
No-
you had spoken to
Bay
them.
City, they're from Bay City,
That
Michigan.
Another
So-
question,
They had, if that's the same one, they had been a seasonal, then they wanted a camper, so they went over to Solberg, or whatever, Pier 33, I
No,
think.
this is a different one.
That's
But
that's
that
the
one's
other
coming
one?
too. She emailed me, they're coming too.
Yeah, so they
Yeah,
should,
we have-
Yeah,
now what they said was, there's so many positive things going on downtown, they want
Yes.
to be a part of that.
right, right,
So,
Right.
right.
The seasonals, to me, the seasonals are a huge key to the financial stability of this facility.
Yes.
steady,
You
yearly,
can get those numbers up and get them steady.
annually, or.
Because the transients are gonna fluctuate more with weather, fuel,
Absolutely.
and then our direct marketing, events, but we just submitted a couple weeks ago our annual report to the DNR, and I'll share that with Kelly for our next meeting, but, we did $280,000 of business this year.
Would we be allowed on DACWA to somehow promote, like a seasonal, but say if you lock it in January, we'll give you, 2% off or some, I don't know, can you play with those numbers at all? Just
I
to,
don't think you can when they're set by the DNR.
Early
Okay.
season or whatever, yeah.
I'm just trying to see if there was some kind of.
I don't think you can.
You have to, okay.
Another question is the wall goes all the way to the bridge as far as us?
Yeah.
Can you put seasonals on there too?
Yes,
Okay,
and that's not subject to the DNR
right,
rules.
because that's not part of.
Because they didn't participate in, the waterways did not participate in that construction.
What's the minimum or is it maximum size? We have a
No,
potential
yeah.
for a 50-some-foot sailboat.
We could easily accommodate that.
Okay.
I mean, you put it in one of the indents like the Princess is,
Yeah,
that's not an issue, but it's not it's shallow along that wall. It's not deep sheet piling there. I think they're only 18-foot sheets.
Oh, 18, you would be.
So, but that's not dredged to the depth. That's not the bottom
Oh,
depth.
okay.
So, you know,
Yeah.
one of the captains of the Princess used to bring his sailboat in and park it in there every year.
Yeah.
He told us. So, but I would just want to make sure that there's enough draft there.
It's in
I think when you
Singapore
get
right
closer to the bridge,
Well,
it's a little,
But he's
Deeper?
potentially-
no.
Or not shallow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Closer to the bridge between the Princess.
Interesting, good.
Responded all for a boat.
Well, a couple years ago when I was in college, when the Chicago to Mack would return, we would have every slip full, we'd raft them 3-4 deep off the
Yeah.
ends of the docks.
We heard
Right.
those stories.
And then later they were all the way down that seawall and sometimes rafted off the seawall as well.
Be neat to see that again.
Sailboaters like to do that, but powerboaters,
So
No, they
they want
don't.
their own.
Yep, we want our own power, we want our own everything.
Powers, yeah.
Well, they like to do it out in the harbor, or not in the harbor, but like out there, in Chicago, they call it the playpen. Out here where the lighthouse is and stuff, sometimes you get 4, 5, 6 of them out there and then
Raft.
they're having a gale time. But, accomplishment.
Well, I think that we need to continue to work with Manistee Tourism, and I think Sammy's doing wonderful things, and we need to keep in her ear and help her promote us, and we automatically then help promote the rest of the county.
Correct.
Exactly.
Just looking at what we talked about, I think in my mind it's pretty easy to go forward with DACWA at least for a year and do that package, not implement the reservation until we feel very comfortable about that and that we can handle it. For me, Z Carts is a great amenity for our customers.
Absolutely.
We just need to make sure we've got her marketing stuff so they know when they get there. And then give some thought to the Princess and whether or not a discount would be, I don't know.
Well, as far as,
But isn't that-
the owner, because he wanted a rate for next year, I still need to get back to him.
Yeah, so as it stands today,
Yeah,
we'll send
I'd still
him,
like to reply.
we'll send him our straight, seasonal rental stuff.
He'd be in the same spot then, obviously, until he does make a decision there for the lakeside, or
Yeah,
that could be time until they get that figured out.
And you said the wall is not subject to the DNR set pricing?
it is not subject to all the, strings and restrictions that the DNR is, but for our rates, we set those following the DNR, just to not discriminate. However, when we were courting that here to our harbor, we did do a 3-year contract and we knocked off, I think it was like $800 the first year and then $500 the second year, and then, so last year they paid what the equivalent of the DNR seasonal would have done.
Is there consider, in my opinion, that's as much of a draw as an amenity of anything. The reason we don't just, what's the process to go ahead and reinstate that? I mean, give them, maybe not the $800, but we give them, say.
Well, right now, we have that space available, we might as well get money for it.
Give them $500 off.
His 3 years is up already?
Yes,
Like quick, yeah.
yeah.
And I'm assuming he wants to do like a year to year, so
Yeah.
I don't think he would sign
Right.
a year.
I mean, we don't have anybody else.
Yeah, so the weird thing is, the current owner
Right.
has requested a seasonal contract.
Okay,
So I told Katie, let us get through Thanksgiving and Sleigh Bell and then we'll jump on that. So we're there now.
okay.
Then a prospective buyer
Brought that-
contacted me
Princess?
today.
Yes,
A prospective buyer who thinks he's got a donor that's willing to pay the acquisition cost and so he would form a 501c3 as a nonprofit to operate it,
Okay.
receive donor proceeds to acquire the business, and then run it out of one of the new restaurant businesses on Manistee Lake in the future.
Okay.
His perspective of what he told me today was more visibility, because you can't see the Princess if you're just driving down River Street. So if it's in its own slip along 31, and it'll be easier to market, easier to see, and then there's a lot more parking for it.
The new business, the new place.
This would be the new place.
I get, and maybe I'm just confused. What does he want? So we got the former owner who says he wants a discount.
One that wants
The
to
current,
one that
the
doesn't.
current, no, we have the current owner that wants a contract.
Okay. Like
We
what?
have a prospective owner
Okay.
who's saying, I'm proposing to create a 501c3,
Right.
acquire it and operate it,
Okay.
and move it in 25.
So he wants a 1-year contract. He wants
So
a 1 year.
so we requested to keep it at the Riverwalk
Right.
in 24, but
But then it-
consider waiving rent because it's a nonprofit and,
Oh, waiving the rent for?
well,
Yeah.
it started off and I said,
2025.
we'll have discussion about waiving or a discount or something,
Yes.
Oh,
but that's,
They don't even own it.
no,
That's-
that's true. They don't.
that's $6,000.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
lot.
that's,
Yeah.
And I said, that's a lot to ask for.
Yeah. Doesn't hurt to ask, but doesn't mean we have to.
And I said, by chance, we have a work session this afternoon and I'll be happy to bring it up. but-
maybe electricity rate or something, or.
I say a $500 discount because for both of them, keep it clean.
Can't give them free fuel.
And if you don't want it there, I mean, sorry, it's gonna be gone anyway.
Yeah, and what we did to offset the discount was we required them in their previous 3-year agreement that they had to purchase fuel and pump out services from us.
Correct.
Gotcha. Well, that was good.
Which actually fuel isn't a massive moneymaker, but
And it's actually taken a toll on our dock, our gas dock. 'Cause it's a heavy boat when it pulls in, so
Sure.
we're gonna have,
yeah, this prospective owner also has ownership in the marina across from us,
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
who sells fuel.
So there goes that.
Oh, boy.
So, something to think about.
no pump out, no pump out there though, right?
I don't think so, but I'm not positive.
Well, we are going to offer the current owner a discount if he owns the boat and returns this summer.
As it stands right now, my plan is to offer a contract to the current owner at the current rate.
Great.
Which was the 300 discount or?
It
No
was not
discount,
the
just
same.
go, because we
Oh, the
gave him
current
3
rate.
years of
The current rate.
discounts. Now he's on just
Straight up.
straight up.
So, when is our next meeting, Kelly?
That's our January.
Yeah, it would be in January.
Right.
Can you,
So-
if we do the DACWA thing though, do we have to wait till January to make that commitment? Okay.
I think the Princess has been a boon for downtown. I'd like to give him a discount, especially if he continues to buy fuel and pump out service.
I think the current owner,
They didn't seem as diligent last year as marketing or moving it or whatever. It
Not as
didn't.
much,
Near as
but a lot. I mean, I see them, and they're in and out.
yeah, but when Al, this was Al's baby,
He
Yes.
was,
And when
he really worked that, promoted it.
He did.
Like,
yeah.
and his health didn't allow him to do that last year.
No.
And there was effort there, but it wasn't the same.
And his son's probably a full-time job, too.
I think he's an attorney.
Yeah, so
I think
got
he's,
something else.
one's an attorney and one's an accountant or something,
Yeah,
like
so
they're,
something else.
they're like, great business, didn't mind investing,
Right.
it's not what we wanna focus on.
Exactly.
You noticed, I noticed there weren't the flyers out like they used
Right.
to be. I just noticed it was quiet around there. There wasn't the
You
advertising.
could manage it and run it. I'd retire, I'd be the captain.
They have I think they have a few different captains they use. 3 or 4.
They have three, at
Yeah,
least three.
Mhm.
So I actually got wind that the Manistee Social Development Project.
Is that still going?
Yeah.
Is that still gonna happen?
Yeah, so, but I had been told a year ago that they had planned on
Last
trying
August.
to acquire the princess
really?
and bringing it there.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew this was gonna go away at some point.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, that project has been slowed down because they wanted to put the seawall back where it used to be, but after the seawall went into disrepair, the lake eroded the shoreline, and the shoreline to the old
Yep.
to the old wall is now wetlands. And so he told me today that he believes that they have satisfied all of those regulatory items and will break ground in the spring.
I hope so.
And said they are designing a slip for the princess.
And visitor slips as well, do you know?
I believe so, yes. Yeah.
So do we want to wait till January, or do we want to get together again and finalize everything before the end of the year, or as soon as after the first of the year to get things moving? Who to contact, what to do, where to,
As far as DACWA?
no, not with DACWA, but like, well, I guess the other stuff's pretty easy, it's mostly just email.
Unless there's objections, we'll just make a subscription to DACWA.
I
And
think
we'll
we
get
need
it,
to get
we'll get
rid
it
of-
before the rates go up.
We certainly have most of the commission here. Someone missing?
Ty resigned,
Yeah, just this
So-
week.
so that's it.
So we're all present.
Yeah,
We can schedule a meeting, business meeting in 3 minutes and do it.
Well, we gotta give public notice and
Oh.
do all those
Yeah.
requirements. But,
This is great.
but quite frankly, if we get the contract out to the current owner and that gets signed,
signed, then we don't have to worry, because then he has to deal with,
then
let's do
that's
that.
seasonal for the year.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and then what happens between him
So that's
and
why she's
whoever-
bringing it up to me every morning going, come on, let's get this,
Yeah.
come on, come on.
Yeah, push.
So I think we're good to wait till January.
Okay.
What is the WA and DACWA?
I don't know. Water.
Water.
I've wondered that too.
Like on the water?
So did you agree on a
Docket.
rate for?
It's catchy.
That's current rate,
Kind of want a discount?
at the current rate.
Oh.
We will
People seem to though.
lock that in before January, so we get the 149.
But your opinion counts,
Yeah.
so we need your opinion.
He's gonna email it to
Yeah.
us.
Because you know what? You're important.
If there's any, do we have any public comments? No, everyone's,
Make a motion.
and I guess we need a motion to adjourn, or adjourn.
It
You just
doesn't
have to,
even
it's
need
a,
a
it's a,
motion.
yeah, it's a work session.
Get up and walk.
Goodbye, everybody.
Practicing for the next meeting, let them be.